Hello everyone, welcome to the first Tech Talk for RM Bridge. My name is Afshin Hatami. I am the product manager for RM Bridge. Tech Talk is about technical issues in bridge engineering in general and how they are addressed in RM Bridge. As you may know, RM Bridge is very powerful, advanced bridge engineering software. It has been developed and supported by experienced engineers for more than 40 years. And it has been used to design hundreds of signature bridges all over the world. As you can see, we continue to have a strong, dedicated leadership team of engineers and developers to support and enhance RM Bridge. Our main goal is to help you succeed in project delivery and improve your efficiency. We plan to achieve this goal by responding to your needs in a timely manner with 3 updates in 2017. The first one will be in late March 2017. The other 2 will be on August and December. Additionally, we want to make RM much easier to use for new users by improving the graphical user interface and workflow. Today, we will only look at the features and enhancements in the March release. We have 2 groups of enhancements. The first one is analytical enhancement, which are stress leading superposition, bilinear hysteretic elements, and new RM set for time integration or time history analysis. The second group of enhancement is user experience enhancements and include enhanced TCL editor in RM Bridge, custom report generation in RM Bridge View, and graphical user interface enhancement. The first analytical enhancement is stress leading superposition. Why we perform superposition, stress leading basically? What is the effect? The main effect that we are looking when we have the combination of different loads, we want to see what is the maximum load effect, such as axial force, moment, and etc. We want to see what is the maximum deflection effect, such as in vertical direction or total displacement. And another effect that we want to see is the maximum stresses, which are normal and shear stresses. Let's look at 2 examples that this maximum stress coming to the picture and is important. Before that, I should mention that the first 2 item, finding the maximum load effect and maximum deflection, is already inside RM Bridge, and user can find and see them. But the next one, finding the maximum stresses and using them as a leading component, will be added in the March release. So in example 1, as you see, we have a beam under 2 different loads. One of them is we have the effect of bending, and the second one is under the tension. We can see that we can find the maximum of the combination of these 2 for the loads and deflection, but in the upcoming release we will have a component to find the maximum of the stress, which you can see on the right hand side. Another example, when we have the construction stage, when we have a different construction stage, and combination of the load in different stages may not give us the maximum effect. So we will have this option by adding the superposition stresses as a leading component in RM Bridge. Now, how you will see this in the results and how you can find it, basically we add the new leading component, as you see in this picture, that you can select the leading component as a stress, normal stress or shear stress, by selecting different points. And in the results, and when you select the leading component as a, for example, in the normal stress, you can see the thematic diagram of the stresses on your bridge. When we have the when you go to the result on the tree, when you expand the leading component, you see here on this in the red box, you will see the new components, that minimum and maximum of the normal and shear stresses. You can, by selecting the component and selecting the stress point, you can have the diagram for your the selected element in your bridge. The next analytical enhancement that we have is bilinear hysteretic elements. What is the hysteretic behavior, and why this behavior is important? Basically, the hysteretic behavior's response depend on previous state. As an example, if you look at this force displacement response of the beam, when the forces are small, we are in the linear, we are in the elastic range, and loading and unloading are in the same path, and we don't have any permanent deformation in the structure. When the force increase, we will go to the nonlinear part, and when we unload, when we have the unloading, basically it's gonna be, the unloading will be parallel to the elastic range, and we have some deformation, permanent deformation in the structure. In the cycling load, when we have a cycling load such as a seismic or earthquake, when we have this effect, then we will have the full loading and unloading. As you see, we will have the hysteretic loop, and the area under this hysteretic loop is very important, which is related to dissipated energy by the element. One of the examples that we can model in the bridge and model the elements with these hysteretic elements basically is the base isolator for the earthquake, under the earthquake loads. And this base isolator, as you know, they can absorb lots of energy, and they significantly reduce the stresses in the bridge deck. For example, in the figure on the bottom left-hand side, you see that the effect of the base isolator. Now let's look at how is the implementation of bilinear hysteretic elements in the RM bridge. You can find these elements under the damper and isolator, bilinear hysteretic. When you select these elements, as you see on the red box on the bottom, you have a direction property. You have you can assign 6 property: stiffness in X, Y, Z, and stiffness for the rotation in X, Y, Z. In next slide, I'll explain how you can add this input inside the software. Here's the input data in RM Bridge for the hysteretic element. First, you need to add the linear or non-linear stiffness that you see with the red arrow. To model the yield property for the Fy, you need to add the positive and negative yield Fy, which you see with the blue, and then you need to add the strain hardening ratio basically for the positive and negative side, which you can see it here. Also, you see user need to select hysteretic rule. We have 3 rules. If it's linear elastic, non-linear elastic, and non-linear inelastic with isotropic strain hardening. User can select and assign this property for bilinear for the element, to the element. Another analytical enhancement that we have is new RM set for time integration or time history. We call it RHIST. As you know, RM set is used to specify content or format for the result report. the user can add user-defined RM set or use the predefined RM set that we have. Currently, we have time integration teams to use for time history analysis. There are some limitation in this RM set. Basically, we cannot get the XLS. We don't have XLS output and no time plots, and we cannot plot multiple diagrams. We added the new RM set for that. As I said, it's called HIST. You can find it in the last item under RM set when you go to the RM set. And it has these advantages and capability basically. You have an option for export, for XLS export to Excel. You can have multiple diagrams, including time plots. For example, you can here in the blue border that you can see, you can select time for the x-axis, or you can select the transition in direction x, y, z, or rotation in around x, y, z axis for the elements or nodes, for forces, displacement, or reaction, or for relative response for the displacement, velocity, and acceleration. Also, another advantage is you have a control on the plot output. You can select the thickness of the line, the color of the line, if you want to have it as a solid, dash, and etc. You can have the control of the output. Let's give you an example here, a column with base isolator that you can see on the right-hand side. This is output. This picture is from RM Bridge view. We model the base isolator with bilinear hysteretic element that you can see on the bottom of the column. And we performed, we used the RM set, our new HIST, as RM set for when we run the time history analysis. And here in this picture, you see two different plots: force displacement plot, a plot for the in y direction, and force displacement plot for the z direction. And you can clearly see the basically the plot for in these two direction, and you can see the hysteretic behavior for this element. Now we go over the user experience enhancement that we have. One of them is we have the new enhanced TCL editor. As you know, RM has a powerful modeling tool that you can model inside RM or use the TCL scripting by modeling and adding the data inside the TCL script. There are many TCL editor in the market, and what it ships with RM is PSPath. But there are some limitation with PSPath. It's a basic editor. It has a limited functionality, and it has user can access it from outside RM. With the new enhanced TCL editor, you have an access through RM Bridge, and it has this capability basically. When you import any TCL file or when you create your TCL script, you have a navigation tree. Basically, it's like a table of contents. Simply, you go to any content that you want and click on the go to the line, and it automatically guide you through the line that you are going to check, revise, or add new commands. It cooperates with all the RM commands and RTCL commands. And you have a error list basically when you create your TCL file. When you click on the error list, you can see all the errors. If there is any error, you can find them and correct them. And it has a text differences. Basically, when you have a two different TCL file, you can compare them together. So it has all the functionality inside the PSPAT and more. Another improvement that we have for the user experience, this enhancement, it's the report generation in RMView. And it's very easy to generate your report. These are the components that when you generate your custom report, you have a user-defined template. Basically, you can have your upload your company logo, header, footer, timestamp, and etc. You have input data for your cross-section. You can select cross-section, nodes, beam, and more if you want to have it as an input. For the report format, you can select the results and component that you want as a tabular, 2D, 3D thematic diagrams, contours, and more. And you can select what kind of component you want. You want to have it axial force, moment, and the element for that result that you want to see. And simply by clicking add, you can add all these, assemble all this result report in your reporting. You can add them to your report. And also you can export your generated report as a Word format, Excel format, and as a 3D PDF or iModel. And one of the big advantages for this report generation, if you change anything inside your model in RMBridge, when you come back to RMView by one click, you can update the results and all the diagrams with one click in the new report tool that we provide you in the upcoming release in March. As an example, here is the cover page for your sample report. You have the table of contents with the page number, and then you have the result as a diagrams and tables and so on. As I said, you can see that you can get the 3D PDF or iModel, which has big advantages. For example, you can it's easy to share but among the stakeholders. It has a very small size of file for the large data. It's interactive graphically, and for iModel, it also includes the business property. For example, it contains a steel grade, compressive strength of concrete, date of installation, and etc. Now I want to show you that how it's the 3D PDF only as a demo. As you can see, I'm now in the PDF file, and in the 3D PDF, basically, if this is your bridge, simply you can rotate your bridge. You can see all the details. You can zoom in. You can zoom in, zoom out, and see all the components that you have in your model. So it's very handy and very easy to use. That you can, as I said, you can share a big amount of data with a small size, and it's interactive. That all the stakeholders can see the model bridge. Another enhancement that we have, user experience enhancement, is we added the new options in result view. Basically, this is one of the wish that our user had. Our user can display the support reaction inside the result view option. You can see it here. We have the option for the support reaction. When you click on that, you have a component. You can see the forces or moment as in the support, in the reactions. For example, here you can see them in the global direction. You can see the value of the moment and forces. Another enhancement that we have here, we add a view option, which was previously with user need to have another click, but we have a shortcut here now. When you see the results, you can see the results for all the bridge, or if you are in the stage, you can simply select the draw active structure, and you can see the result on the active structure. Another enhancement is we added the new icons in the main window. Some of them was already inside RM Bridge, and you are aware of that, but we added these new icons to be easy to use without as a shortcut, basically. Now I show you what are these new icons. We have the view option. If you want to move the bridge, we have the pan. If you want to, for the view options, top view, southwest, you can have that view. You can have the zoom icon for the texts. For the text, you can have a rotation. You have icon for the zooming, and then fit drawing fit. And then we have a modeling option. Basically, you have option to show the global or local direction, finding the element property. You can select the element and see all the property of the element. We have the option for viewing the element and node. Basically, you can have an option. You have an option for creating an assembly, and also this is the new enhancement that we have option for viewing the loads in the main window. When you select the view loads, you have an option to see the load set or load case. You can select those load set and load case and see them in the main window. Also, we added the new icons for the results. When you click on the result icon, it gives you the access to the result option. And we have a new icons. This is also new for the quantity of the material. When you click on this icon, you can see you can get a report of the quantities, the materials that you have used in your project. So that was briefly the enhancement that we have. We also have the videos in our YouTube channel. You can simply go to the YouTube, type Bentley Bridge Analysis on YouTube, and you have access to the videos that we uploaded for all our all bridge product in Bentley, including RM Bridge. Natalie has some announcement here, and after that we go to the Q&A session.
Great, thank you, Afshin. Before we begin the Q&A, we would like the participants to take a short poll. Based on the presentation, would you be interested in having someone contact you to discuss your project needs or schedule a demo? Great, thank you for everyone's responses. And back over to Afshin, Jeff, and Shri for Q&A.
Thanks, Natalie. Before I start the Q&A, I want to emphasize one more time our main and primary goal, as I said at the beginning, is your success is our primary goal. And here is my contact information, my email, afshin.hatami@bentley.com. Please feel free to contact me, share your feedbacks, comments, and we are here to listen and add and implement your comments quickly in the upcoming releases of RM Bridge. Now, if there is any question and answer, we are here to answer. Jeff?
All right, Afshin, we do have some questions that I'd like to pose to you. So the first question that someone had asked is, when is this first commercial release of RM in 2017?
The first release of RM is scheduled to be on March 31st, 2017.
All right, thanks. And then a question related to some of that last stuff you were showing. Someone wanted to know if the report generation in RMView is available in RMBridge.
This is a good question. RMBridge view is part of RMBridge Advanced. So it's going to be part of RMBridge Advanced, not RMBridge Standard.
Okay, thanks. Another question here about the RM sets for time integration. So someone was asking if the old tint will be replaced with the rhist in the RM sets.
No, both time integration RM set will be available for our user. If they want, they can use tints or new RM set that we added rhist.
Okay, we had another question. For stress leading combinations, how many stress points can there be?
We have the normal stress, shear stress, and in the because we are extending the database, basically we have all the 6 components. For the stress leading for the beams, we have the normal and shear stresses. And user also can get the principal stresses as well.
Okay, another question actually, if you have RM Advanced, is the RM View available now already?
Yes, the previous version of RM View is available. The previous release of RMBridge was 10.02.0012, and it has user can download RMBridge View as well with that with RMBridge Advanced.
All right, we had another question that came in while you were going over the hysteretic spring elements, and that was, do manufacturers provide those properties needed to define the hysteretic springs?
That is correct. We add some default value, but for a specific element, or if it's, for example, a base isolator with the manufacturer properties, user need to revise and edit the properties for those elements.
All right, thanks. Just looking through some of these other questions here, make sure I don't miss any. Another question related to those stress leading superposition. You had answered the previous question about the different stresses that can be shown. A follow-up to that is how many stress points can be considered in the combination. So how many stress points in the cross-section itself can be considered in the combination?
This is a good question. I need to mention that there's a stress point that the user wants to see them as a leading component. User need to specify them in the cross-section in the modeler. And we don't have any limits for the number of the stress points. But if user define many of them, he will get a warning that the result output is exceed. You will get a big output of the results. So basically, bottom, top, and if it's the composite section between the 2 parts, that's are the main stress point to check them as a leading, but we don't have any limit. But we give an warning if it exceeds the size, for the size.
Okay, thank you. Another question about seismic. So we have a question asking whether you can work with seismic acting in directions other than X and Z.
Yes, user can specify the seismic in any direction. There isn't any limit there.
Okay. And then a question here about the bilinear hysteretic elements. Someone's asking if you can comment on how is the numerical stability of this bilinear hysteretic element, given that there's a sharp transition between the two stiffnesses.
About the numerical solution, I should double check. I don't have an answer right on the top of my head now. But if please get the email address for this question, I will send him the response after the
So Jeff, let me just chime in a little bit. This particular feature is currently under development, and so far we haven't seen any issues, but it's a good question, and we'll of course test all sorts of variations of these stiffnesses before we release the product.
All right, thanks, Shri and Afshin. I think we have one more question here, which someone had asked if there's any new enhancements for traffic loading coming out this year.
We have a new enhancement for the ASHTO, lane macro for ASHTO, and for other codes such as African or Europe. We also have in plan, but not for the March release. For the next release in August in 2017, we have those enhancements as well.
All right, thanks. And actually, this will be the last question that we have here, and that's what can you tell me about RM Bridge and the integration with OpenBridge Modeler? Just a comment on what OpenBridge Modeler is, maybe, and how RM can be complementary to it.
This is a very good question. In Bentley, we have a complete BIM solution. Users simply can model the bridge in OBM and then export the model from OBM inside RM, run the analysis. For example, if it's the segmental bridges, can design the tendons and design the bridge and send back the model from RM inside the OBM. And in OBM, you have all the I model for that, and more. Furthermore, you can send that model to Pro Concrete and use it for the detailing in the bridge. So the whole BIM is covered in our solution with RM, OBM, and Pro Concrete. Very good question.
All right, thanks. At this point, we'll have to turn it back over to Natalie.
Great. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Afshin and Shri. And big thank you to Afshin for a wonderful presentation.